How does a colocation data center shorten the sales cycle? That is a terrific question. And I know it's one that a lot of colocation data centers struggle with. Here's why. By the nature of how colocation is sold by data center operators, it's typically sold on multi-year agreements. And a lot of this mindset comes from a very real estate centric approach. Because if you think about data center real estate, DCRE is kind of considered like the first cousin of industrial real estate, which is the first cousin of DCRE for all intents and purposes is industrial real estate, right? So, and it's kind of like considered the first cousin of commercial real estate. So it's not totally out of the ballpark to see people that come into data center real estate from having previously worked in commercial real estate. And sometimes we see people that sold for colocation operators completely leave the data center industry and actually go into residential real estate. I don't know whether it's a midlife career pivot or kind of a retirement slowing down plan or a more of a deliberate move, but a lot of the skill sets seem to be reasonably transferable when you're primarily focusing on selling space. And that's a whole separate topic of conversation that we could dive into on another podcast episode, is should colocation operators really be focusing on selling space, power, and compute, or bandwidth and density, or should they really be focusing on selling the IT services, the managed IT service?